Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Bear Facts Friday. We've got, as always, I'm going to filter down some information. Mark's going to give you, put some things into perspective, and Lisa's going to drop some knowledge and some wisdom on you. So today I wanted to talk about with the uptick in recent cases, half of Americans say that they are worried, say that they don't have financial security since the pandemic hit, and as you can imagine so with so many job losses and just the uncertainty of the future of everything at this point. There's a lot of people worried. So I wanted to try to give you 5 tidbits that you can do, well, that will hopefully ease your mind and put you in a better financial position. So number one is focus on factors within your control. We can control whether we're saving, we can control how hard we're working. What we can't control is making the market go up and down, or making the cases of virus go down, or making people wear a mask or not wear a mask, whatever it may be. So just focusing in on yourself and doing what is best for you and your family. Another is developing a budget. Write out what you're spending and see where it's going. I mean, the first step is kind of knowing where the money goes. It's so easy to just have it come in and it goes, and then at the end of the month, you don't have really any idea where it went. But if you can lay out where dollars are being spent, you're going to put yourself in a better financial position. You're going to have the knowledge to make adjustments when the time comes. What can be cut, what can't be cut, and so forth. Creating an emergency fund, even in an emergency. Put money away in the event of you lose a job, you need to fix your HVAC, you have a leak in the roof, whatever it is. You need 6 months to a year of liquid cash in a savings or bank account that you can access. Start building that up, and it starts one day at a time. Whether it's, I'm going to save $2 a day for every day this month, and I'm going to use one of the rounding tools like I have at Wells Fargo, where every you spend on your debit card, it's 5.20, and they put 80 cents in your savings account. Eventually that adds up, and it's a way to create an emergency fund. You just start small and let it build. Seek out areas of opportunity, whether that be from the unemployment checks, if you had happened to lose your job, a business owner, the PPP loan. Make yourself aware, and we can help you with that too, of what's out there. What is there available to the individual that can potentially ease the financial burden, whether it be rent relief, whether it be mortgage payment relief. There's a lot of different things out there that were passed with the CARES out. And then also, look, don't lose sight of the long term. This is just hopefully a small blip in the grand scheme of things. I'm 40, I'm trying to retire. Down the road, what happens today doesn't necessarily, change all my focus and leaves from, the long-term plan to what's happening right this minute. Keep that end goal in mind, and then you take step by step to reach that goal. Setting it, whether it's every day you're going to do something, every month, every week, every year, building that out and keeping the long-term vision in mind. Mark?
All right, well, that works well because it segues pretty nicely into what I had in store for this week, which was the idea of making decisions for your future self. And, right now, understandably so, whatever circumstance you might be in, it's reasonable that you're making decisions in the moment for the very near term because things are so fluid and they have been. But it's also important to not lose mind, as Kenny just ended with his last point of what does the long term look like, and what are you ultimately trying to get at with your future self. And so I wanted to just talk about the point that, and use a golf analogy with the Memorial on this week and with Tiger being back, of laying up sometimes. And that, look, you might have a great plan in place and you might have great action steps to help you get there, and then whoop, all of a sudden things don't go as planned. You shank your shot, so to speak. And what can you do? All you can do is adjust and pivot and then focus on the next shot. And maybe instead of going for the green, maybe it means now you've got to lay up and reassess your strategy and just tweak a couple things along the way. And that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you feel like things have been shaken up a little bit right now, whether personally, professionally, financially, or anything else. But while you're making near-term decisions, make them, for what's ultimately in your best interest today, but also for your future self. There's no shame in that, and nothing wrong with that at all.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. While the guys have been talking to you a lot about keeping your eye on the long-term goal, I'm going to bring the focus back into the short term. I had a conversation with a colleague of mine that works at a custodial financial institution this morning, and he was recapping to me what horror how horrific his workload had been in the last week with the tax deadline yesterday. And we were laughing because here we had an extra 3 months to get our tax stuff ready and actually get everything filed. And still, just like as if it would have been in April, everybody was running around at the last minute trying to open new accounts, move money around, get money available. And it was just, we had to laugh about it because it doesn't seem to matter how long you give people, they're still going to put it off until the very last minute. So to save yourself some angst next year, because we're going to have to go through this in 9 months again. It's going to be right around the corner. While it's still fresh on your mind, make a list of all of the things that you had a hard time finding this year or that seemed to take a while for you to get. Anything that was involved in some sort of a longer process where you needed to start a month ahead of time to get it ready for your tax return. If you're a business owner, there's a lot of things that have to do when you close your books and get your profit sharing and any defined contribution plans set up. Go ahead and make that list now, today, and just stick it in your calendar for 2021 so that when January rolls around, you've got a ready list that you can just start checking things off. Remember that everything, your 1099s, W-2s, K-1s, and that sort of thing, well, not K-1s, I'm sorry, but your 1099s and your bank statements are all supposed to be available to you at the end of January. So if you've got that list ready, you can just start checking them off. If you don't get them, you can start calling the institutions and have them, start kind of lighting a fire under them to start getting that stuff available for you. So you can complete your census information if you're a business owner, get that profit sharing number ready. And that way you're not so stressed and you're not crunching that timeline down on April 15th, trying to squeeze everything in at 9 o'clock on the 14th or 15th. So, and racing to the post office. I used to laugh when I was in tax at how many people were lined up at the post office actually trying to get that postmark on that envelope. So now we're doing it electronically, but which seems to make it worse because now you've got until midnight to get that time stamp. Well, let's save ourselves some gray hair and try to get everything done ahead of time next year. Start planning for that a little ahead of time. So that's my advice.
I can tell you the CPAs love that advice, without a doubt. Well, so thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in this week. If there's ever anything y'all need or anybody has any questions related to their personal financial matters or business financial matters or has questions, we're here for you. So always feel free to reach out. Until next week, y'all have a wonderful weekend.